And look, here's the thing, and is it the kid, or is it how you have treated this guy? Like, I don't know where the fine line is, but there's, I mean, certainly a disconnect. Like when I see like this kid on the World Series, you lost a game that nobody cares about. All right. And by the way, Lamar Jackson, a two-time MVP, was looking for you. Like, go back and say this. The only energy I saw in the entire stadium was when that kid popped on the field. Shedeur walked on the field.
By the way, there were some things that Rex said that if he actually filed it with a coherent thought, I would agree with. Is there a disconnect between Shedeur and Kevin? That's a fair question. I don't think there is. I think Kevin just has his attention elsewhere. But again, that's a fair question. But to act like the kid sitting on the sideline or that in the press conference said, hey, I really feel like this loss is on me, that it's somehow an indictment on his character, just say you don't like the kid. Or just say you haven't heard things that are good about him from the little NFL circles, instead of pretending like it has anything to do with the way that kid composed himself, because anybody that watched his press conference should have come away even more feeling like, hey, that's just a good kid, whether he's a good quarterback or not. In the same way, by the way, that I don't think Dylan Gabriel is going to be a starting NFL quarterback ever. He shouldn't be right now. Every time I watch his press conference, I come away thinking, that's a good kid.
You know what's wild? Rex Ryan spent months telling everyone Shedeur Sanders wasn't ready for the NFL, called him overrated, said he couldn't handle real pressure. But after watching Shedeur get thrown into the fire against the Ravens with zero preparation, Rex just dropped the most shocking take of his career, and it wasn't the one you'd expect. Because when the smoke cleared and the Browns lost that game, Rex didn't blame the kid. He blamed the entire organization. And now, the football world is losing its mind. Because if Rex Ryan, the same guy who's been Shedeur's biggest critic, is suddenly defending him, then something is seriously wrong in Cleveland. Let me tell you exactly what happened and why this might be the biggest organizational failure we've seen all season.
Former NFL head coach Rex Ryan has some interesting thoughts of his own about the Browns quarterback situation.
Stefanski is one of an outstanding coach. All right. But why the hell isn't he putting Shedeur Sanders? We're all waiting to see the Shedeur Sanders be the guy, or Gabriel, whatever. Something's missing. Something's missing with this kid. This kid talks. He runs his mouth like I could be a starting quarterback with his arms crossed like this. Get your ass in the front row.
How do you think you played? I don't think I played good. I don't think I played good at all. I think it's a lot of things, we need to look at, during the week and go and just get comfortable, even throwing routes, with Jerry and throwing routes with all those guys. So I think that was my first ball to him all year. But other than that, I just think overall we just got to go next week and understand, so then we have a week to prepare stuff I like to do.
So here's how this whole mess started. The Cleveland Browns are playing the Baltimore Ravens. Division rival, playoff implications, all that good stuff. They're tied 16-16 in the fourth quarter, and their starter, Dylan Gabriel, is running the offense. Then boom, Gabriel takes a massive hit, goes into concussion protocol, and just like that, Shedeur Sanders is getting the tap on the shoulder. Now, for most backup quarterbacks, this is the moment you've been preparing for your entire life, right? You've been running through plays with the first team, you know the offensive line's rhythm, you've practiced the cadence 1,000 times, you're ready. Except Shedeur Sanders wasn't ready. And here's the thing, it wasn't his fault. The moment Shedeur jogged onto that field, you could feel something was off. The energy was weird, the offense looked confused, and within Baltimore's defense was absolutely eating him alive. First drive, pressure in his face, ball sails high, easy interception for the Ravens. The kid looked lost out there, like he'd never seen an NFL blitz package before in his life. And listen, I'm not trying to pile on Shedeur here, because what happened next is what makes this whole story absolutely insane. The Browns lose the game. Shedeur finishes 4 of 16 passing, 47 yards, 1 pick. Brutal numbers, the kind of stat line that usually gets roasted on every sports talk show for a week straight. And sure enough, the hot takes start flying immediately. Shedeur is not NFL ready. He can't handle the moment. The Browns made a mistake trading up for him.
What is going on in Cleveland? And so to me, it's like, are you not giving this kid a chance from day one? Why the hell did you trade up for him in the first place?
Who's running
Or is
the
it
scout
something
team?
about the kid that you can't stand?
Who's
I
running
don't
the
know.
scout team? How does the offensive line not have heard his cadence before?
Yeah.
We don't give him any reps in a walkthrough and a 7-on-7.
But then Rex Ryan gets on the air. And instead of doing what everyone expected, instead of saying, "I told you so," and ripping Shedeur apart, Rex does something completely different. He goes nuclear on the Cleveland Browns organization. Listen to what Rex said, and I'm not exaggerating here. How does the offensive line not have heard his cadence before? We don't give him any reps in a walkthrough and a 7-on-7. It's odd. Obviously, he's running the scout team. You're a backup quarterback. Obviously, you would run the scout team, right? So if he's running the scout team, how's the offensive line not heard his cadence? I don't know, like maybe he's not. Like hell, maybe he's not. That would be even stranger. If this kid's not running the scout team, that would blow me away. Hold up. Let me make sure you heard that right. Rex Ryan just said that the Cleveland Browns' starting offensive line had never heard Shedeur Sanders' cadence before that game. Not in practice, not in walkthroughs, not even in scout team reps. The first time those grown men heard Shedeur's voice calling plays was in an actual NFL game against the Baltimore Ravens in a tie game in the fourth quarter. Are you kidding me right now? Dan Orlovsky, former NFL quarterback, backed Rex up on this too. He confirmed that yes, Shedeur had not taken a single snap with the starting offense going back to training camp. All the first-team reps went to Joe Flacco. Then they went to Kenny Pickett. Then they went to Dylan Gabriel when he took over as starter. Shedeur, he got nothing.
I would go weeks as the backup quarterback, weeks, if not months, without taking a single rep with our starting
but
offense.
you were sort of a seasoned veteran backup who was there for that reason because you didn't need snaps and they could throw you in case of trouble. This is a rookie who's never taken a snap in an NFL game.
It's also a rookie who's playing in front of him.
Now, Dan tried to defend the organization a little bit, saying that backup quarterbacks sometimes go weeks without getting reps with the starters. And sure, that's true for veteran backups who've been in the league for years and know the system inside and out. But Shedeur Sanders is a rookie. He'd never taken a snap in an NFL game before that moment. And you're telling me the Browns didn't think it was important to get him at least a few reps with the starting unit? That's not just bad coaching. That's organizational negligence. And Rex Ryan wasn't done. Oh no, he was just getting warmed up. "Why did you trade up for him?" Rex asked, his voice getting louder with every word. "Why in the hell did you trade up for this guy if you have you're not going to play him? I don't understand that. Why the hell would you trade up for a player you're going to give no chance to? Makes no sense." And you know what? He's absolutely right. The Browns didn't just draft Shedeur Sanders in the middle rounds and hope he develops. They traded up to get him. That means they gave up draft capital, future picks, assets, resources, because they believed in this kid's talent. They saw something special in him at Colorado. They watched him dominate in college, make incredible throws, show leadership, prove he could handle pressure.
The only energy I saw in the entire stadium was when that kid popped on the field. Shedeur walked on the field. You know who was wanting to see him play?
The fans.
The dang fans. And you know who never cared? His teammates. What the hell is going on in Cleveland? What is going on in Cleveland? And so to me, it's like, are you not giving this kid a chance?
And then they get him to Cleveland and what? They just forget about him? They act like he doesn't exist? They throw him in a game with zero preparation and then act surprised when it doesn't go well? That's not player development. That's sabotage. Here's where it gets even crazier. Remember how I mentioned the energy was weird when Shedeur first came into the game? Well, Rex Ryan noticed it too. And what he said about it is honestly heartbreaking. The only energy I saw in the entire stadium was when that kid walked on the field, Rex said. You know who was wanting to see him play? The dang fans. And you know who never cared? His teammates. Let that sink in for a second. The fans were excited to see Shedeur play. The hometown crowd in Cleveland was buzzing with anticipation. People had their phones out, recording the moment, ready to see what the rookie could do. But his teammates crickets. No energy, no support, no rallying around their guy. That tells you everything you need to know about the culture in that locker room right now. And it's not Shedeur's fault. You can't expect a rookie to earn his teammates' respect when the coaching staff has basically told everyone that he's not worth their time. When you don't give a player reps, when you don't invest in his development, when you treat him like he's invisible, you're sending a message to the entire team. This guy doesn't matter. And that's exactly what happened to Shedeur Sanders. Now, let's talk about what actually went down in that game, because the film tells an even more brutal story. The Ravens' defense, one of the best in the league, by the way, brought exotic blitz packages that Shedeur had literally never seen before. Pressures up the middle, edge rushers dropping into coverage, linebackers timing the snap perfectly. It was a masterclass in how to confuse a young quarterback. And Shedeur had no chance, not because he lacks talent, not because he can't play at this level, but because the Browns never prepared him for this moment. On that first drive, Baltimore brought a pressure that Shedeur didn't recognize. The pocket collapsed immediately, he got hit while throwing, and the ball sailed straight into a defender's hands. Easy pick. Game over, essentially, because the Browns' defense had been keeping them in it all day, and now the Ravens had all the momentum. The next drive wasn't any better. Shedeur did show some good instincts by escaping pressure in the pocket. The kid's got mobility, no question about that. But when he tried to fit a ball into the back corner of the end zone, the safety made a great play and broke it up. 4th down. Turnover on downs. And by the way, on that 4th down play, the Ravens were blatantly offside. Like, not even close. Multiple players jumped early. Wyatt Teller on the Browns' offensive line was pointing at them, yelling at the refs, but no flag, no call. The Browns lost their chance to convert, and the game was basically over from there. He's asking, what were they supposed to be? How is a rookie quarterback who's never taken a snap with the starting offense, who's never even run a walkthrough with the first-team line, supposed to come into a tie game against one of the best defenses in football and just figure it out?
In an NFL game,
it's also a rookie who's playing in front of him, who's only been playing for 6 games or so. So you're trying to get him ready. I don't think it's the perfect science. Though I think it's odd that Shedeur hasn't had a single snap of practice rep. Yes, it was the first time that their offensive line starting group had heard
his cadence, which is
in a game.
That is very, very odd to for something like that.
That's not fair. That's not realistic. And that's why Rex Ryan flipped the script on everyone. After the game, Shedeur did something that honestly I'm comfortable with at all. Shedeur said in his post-game interview, I got to take this one. I got to decompress. I got to understand, this really happened on my watch. I don't like the feeling. And I know offensively, if I'm able to get out there and have an opportunity, I know that I'll be able to take everything to a different level. Read between the lines there. If I'm able to get out there and have an opportunity. He's basically saying what we're all thinking. He hasn't been given a real opportunity yet. But even in defeat, even after getting thrown to the wolves, Shedeur still believes in himself. He still thinks he can play at this level. And honestly, I believe him too. Because here's the thing about Shedeur Sanders that people keep forgetting. This kid didn't just wake up one day and decide to play quarterback. He's been training for this his entire life. He grew up around NFL greatness with his dad, Deion Sanders. He learned how to handle pressure at Colorado, where every single game was a national spotlight moment. He's dealt with more criticism and hate than most rookies will ever face, and he's still standing. The talent is there. The arm is there. The football IQ is there. What's not there is the organizational support. And that's not on Shedeur. That's on Cleveland. So where does this leave us? Well, the Browns are now in a really awkward position. Dillon Gabriel might miss more time with that concussion. That means Shedeur could be starting again this Sunday against the Raiders. And if that happens, Cleveland has a choice to make. They can either keep doing what they've been doing, ignoring Shedeur in practice, giving him no reps, treating him like he's not part of the team, and then act shocked when he struggles again, Or they can actually do their jobs as coaches and start preparing this kid properly. Give him first-team reps. Let him practice with the starting offensive line. Run through the game plan with him. Treat him like the first-round investment that he is. Because if they don't, they're not just wasting Shedeur's talent, they're wasting their own draft capital and potentially ruining a promising young career before it even starts.
What is going on in Cleveland? Rex asked, on air, genuine confusion in his voice. Are you not giving this kid a chance from day one? Why the hell did you trade up for him in the first place? Or is it something about the kid that you can't stand? That last line is key. Is it something about the kid that you can't stand? Rex is suggesting that maybe, just maybe, there's something personal going on here. Maybe the Browns coaching staff doesn't like Shedeur's confidence. Maybe they don't like his famous father. Maybe they don't like the media attention he brings. Maybe they're threatened by the fact that if Shedeur plays well, it makes them look bad for not developing him properly. Whatever the reason, it's become clear that this isn't about football anymore. This is about egos. This is about organizational dysfunction. And Shedeur Sanders is caught in the middle of it. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. A lot of people have been critical of Shedeur since he came into the league. They say he's too cocky. They say he's riding his dad's coattails. They say he hasn't proven anything yet. And look, I get it. Confidence can rub people the wrong way, especially when you haven't put up NFL numbers yet. But you know what I see when I look at Shedeur Sanders? I see a kid who's been doubted his entire life and keeps proving people wrong. At Colorado, everyone said he couldn't handle Power 5 competition. He showed up and balled out. Everyone said he was only successful because of his dad's coaching. He transferred to a different program and still dominated. Everyone said he'd crumble under NFL pressure. He gets thrown into the worst possible situation and still takes accountability like a leader. That's not arrogance. That's belief. That's the mindset you need to have as a quarterback in this league. Because the moment you start doubting yourself, the moment you start listening to the critics, you're done. And the fact that Rex Ryan, one of Shedeur's biggest critics, is now defending him, that should tell you something. Rex isn't a Shedeur fan. He's not on social media hyping up Colorado. He's a no-nonsense football guy who calls it like he sees it. And what he saw against the Ravens wasn't a quarterback who can't play. He saw an organizational failure. He saw a coaching staff that abandoned their player. He saw a kid who was set up to fail and took the blame anyway. That changed Rex's perspective. And honestly, it should change yours too. Because imagine being in Shedeur's shoes for a second. You get drafted by an NFL team, you're excited, you're ready to work, you're ready to learn, but from day one, you're treated like you don't exist. You're not getting reps, you're not in the game plan. Your teammates don't know your cadence. And then one day, without warning, you're thrown into a tie game against a playoff team and told to figure it out. That's not a fair evaluation. That's not player development, that's a setup. And the fact that Shedeur still believes he can succeed, still wants another opportunity, still thinks he can take the offense to a different level, that's the kind of mental toughness you can't teach. That's the kind of resilience that separates good players from great ones. So here's what needs to happen now. The Browns need to stop playing games. If Dillon Gabriel is out for an extended period, they need to fully commit to Shedeur. Not half-heartedly, not with one foot out the door. They need to give him all the first-team reps. They need to design a game plan around his strengths. They need to actually coach him instead of just throwing him out there and hoping for the best. Because if they do that, if they actually invest in Shedeur the way they were supposed to from the beginning, I think people are going to be shocked at what he can do. The kid's got arm talent, he's got mobility, he's got football IQ. All he needs is a fair shot. And if the Browns won't give him that fair shot, then they need to be honest about it. Trade him to a team that will actually use him. Let him go somewhere that believes in him. Because keeping him on the roster just to rot on the bench while you protect your ego is a waste of everyone's time. The NFL is supposed to be about meritocracy. The best players play, the best coaches succeed. But situations like this remind us that politics, ego, and organizational dysfunction can ruin even the most talented players if you let it. And right now, that's exactly what's happening to Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland. Rex Ryan saw it, Dan Orlovsky saw it,
The fans saw it. Hell, even the offensive line saw it. They were pointing at the refs, trying to get flags, trying to give Shedeur any kind of help. The only people who don't seem to see it are the ones making the decisions. So, Browns fans, here's my question for you. Do you trust your front office to handle this correctly? Do you think they're going to suddenly change course and give Shedeur a real chance? Or are we watching a talented young quarterback get wasted in real time because the organization is too proud to admit they screwed up? And to everyone else watching, pay attention to what happens next. Because this isn't just about Shedeur Sanders. This is about how NFL teams treat their young players. This is about organizational accountability. This is about whether we value talent and potential or whether we let politics and ego destroy careers before they even start. Rex Ryan said it best, "What the hell is going on in Cleveland?" Honestly, I don't even think the Browns know the answer to that question. But one thing is for sure, they better figure it out fast. Because if they waste Shedeur Sanders' career, that's not just a mistake, that's a tragedy. So what do you think? Is Shedeur Sanders being sabotaged by the Browns, or is he just not ready for the NFL? Do you think Rex Ryan is right to call out the organization, or is he making excuses for a bad performance? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear what you think. And if you're Team Shedeur and you think he deserves a real shot, hit that like button right now. Because this kid's story is far from over, and we're going to be here covering every single twist and turn. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, because trust me, the Shedeur Sanders saga in Cleveland is about to get a lot more interesting. And you're not going to want to miss what happens next.